Thanks for checking out my video. If you want to learn more from me, I have a lot of classes on Udemy. You can find the links to a lot of those in the description. All right, so I'm kind of winging it with this topic because it just kind of came to me today. But what do you do if you have negative, if you're feeling a lot of like negative energy and heavy energy, oppressive energy that is manifesting itself around you in terms of bad luck or bad experiences, and you seem to have these things continue to happen, but you don't know where they came from, right? It's arguably easier to work around the idea that someone is wishing you ill will, whether it just be someone sending what my lady likes to call invidia. I don't know where she got that term from, but somebody wishing ill will on you, and then negative stuff starts to happen, or you actually know that somebody might be doing, and I hate using this term, black magic against you, right? Now, that gives you a target. For example, with the Simon Necronomicon with the Maclu burnings, which comes from the Maclu tablet series, straight out of Mesopotamia, so it's not fake. Um, that has a target. It, you know who to use this energy and build it, and then your watcher sends it off to that particular target. Well, what do you do if you don't know the target and where to send this kind of stuff? One, protection stuff you can do, and two, you can reject that energy, announce your boundaries, and say I'm not gonna take any of that stuff, and return to sender. If you've ever seen any of the witchcrafty books that are in a bunch of stores and whatnot, the ones that are all like way too generalized, they have like return to sender spells. And those kinds of things can be effective because it's like, you know, it's the summer, at least where I am, and it's hot. And if I leave the deck door open, then mosquitoes and bugs and other things that are going to come in the house. Now, I'm not going to say like I reject all mosquitoes, but ants and moths are okay, right? I need to set up protection. So, protection-y stuff is your first line of defense when it comes to any negative energy that's coming at you. So, if you feel like you have a lot of bad luck, then start working on protection stuff. Now, this can be things such as casting wards in your house around every doorway and window. These can be energetic, used with wands, or even something as simple as your finger. By the way, this stuff I do have the Magickal Protection 1 and Magickal Protection 2, both on Udemy. You can find the link to those through the link tree down there. And setting up those energetic things are good at a certain level, and the more that you do them, the better it's going to be. Think about it like with so I have glass doors that go out to my deck, right? And I periodically go through the house and I do all of my protection-y wards and stuff like that. I'm actually going to get to them later today because I haven't done them in about a month. So bad. Gotta be more on top of it. But hey, maybe that's why I'm making this video. Anyways, if you don't clean the glass, it's going to get smudgy. Or, you don't perform regular maintenance on your car or whatever, it's going to break down. Same thing with your protections. So you want to do the wards and, even casting a circle around your house. Even if you're in like a multi-unit building or an apartment, you can do that, right? Do that on the regular. Maybe even have it, one day a month, set an alarm for it. Oh, today while I'm chilling at home, I gotta go through and I gotta take some time, and I gotta do protection around my house, right? So food for thought on that one. Then what about you, right? Your house is protected. What about you? So you can do a good number of things. In the Karo tradition, there's the concept of hucha that I've spoken about on this channel before, where that's heavy energy that humans generate, and then it can make us sick, it can make us sad, it can contribute to all sorts of negative things, right? And we dump it on other people when we are mad at them and we're interacting with them, like road rage stuff or nasty customers at work and different things like that. We dump hoocha on them, which means we get hoocha dumped on us. And arguably, if I extrapolate the Kara tradition understanding into more of the neo-pagan stuff or the Wiccan stuff, the general magic stuff, you could potentially have somebody dumping hoocha on you even from far away, right? If somebody's thinking negative thoughts about you, they're sending darts or Nvidia, that kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys know these terms because they were in books I've read over the last 20 years, but they could be dumping this hoocha on you. And then one, that's an energetic connection, so cord cutting is great for that. And two, they're throwing mud at you. So you got to clean that, right? This is why visualizing protection, whether it's a shield of, whatever color feels good for you, or, there's any number of shield visualizations. You can do a bubble. You can do ironclad walls that are around you. You can even have protective spirits like fetches and thought forms that you can create to protect you from those kinds of things. I have a class on thought forms also on Udemy. I have plenty of classes, and I have a couple more that I'm planning, but I haven't gotten around to them yet. And then also grounding, and just keeping up your mental health and your physical health, right? If you're physically strong and somebody's sending negativity at you, whether it be hoocha or a spell or something, that you're going to get sick, that's just going to bounce off of you in the event that you are in good health, right? And, I'm speaking in a general sense. Most of the time, yeah, it's going to bounce right off of you, right? You might feel a tickle in your throat for a day or whatever. Maybe you will get full-blown sick. But the more that you eliminate the negative energy through things like grounding and even visualizing it, whether you're just standing there and you're visualizing any negative energy coming off of you and neutralizing it in the ground, because the ground is the, it's a non-conductor. That's why lightning hits the ground. It doesn't go anywhere else, right? Visualizing that kind of thing, because energy follows intention, we're grounding any of that negative energy. We're cleansing it off of us. And then you have the circle casting, trying to pick back up where I left off, and the idea of hoocha being thrown at you from other people. And then not only dumping the negativity, but whenever you have something, like think of a jug of water. When you're pouring it out, what goes in there when the water comes out? Air. So whenever you're removing something else has to fill it. You don't want to leave it void. It can't be a vacuum, right? So if you are eliminating anything dark off of you and you are picturing all of this negative energy coming off of you and going into the ground, then what are you going to fill it with? Well, this is when we get into like a blessing kind of phase, right? So then any of the different spirits that you work with, or if you're part of like the energetic model and you don't, or chaotic model or spiritual model, you can call on any of the spirits or even archetypes that you feel would be good. Whether you think Jesus is a real dude, or God is a real dude, or just an archetype, or, you want to work with any number of spirits from the Simon Necronomicon to the Goetia to, any of the, Tibetan Buddhist stuff, or even Jesus, if you go that way with Christian witchcraft and stuff. Call on an archetype, a spirit, some kind of energy, whether it just be, divine light from the universe, right? You can get all these hippie terms in there to fill that space. And, practice this in a cast circle, arguably, at first, because then you're in sacred space and you're really focused. Because casting sacred space isn't just about being protected. It's about, hey, the only thing I'm doing right now is here because I left all my stuff outside of the circle. So it really helps you focus and building a skill like this. But going about bringing down that positive energy to fill that space. If you want to eliminate darkness, you got to bring light into it, right? If you want to eliminate negativity, you got to bring positivity to it, right? So you can call in protection and blessings from whatever your sway is to fill that space. So when you are visualizing eliminating any of this negative heavy energy that's coming from somebody else or somewhere else and you don't know what, call on something else to protect you. You can even set the intention that any energy that's coming from this person, or any other person, because I don't know where it's coming from, is neutralized and it goes elsewhere. And even set an intention with that. It's neutralized, it goes into the ground, it doesn't hurt anybody, because anyone that does that negative kind of stuff, they shouldn't be doing it. I'm giving you guys some examples. I don't like to tell people exactly what to do in anything except when it comes to the exact traditional stuff of the Simon Necronomicon stuff and the Kara tradition stuff, because a lot of this, especially when it comes to witchcraft, make it your own, because with all these visualizations and different things that you're moving energy around, there are ways that I can do things that you can't, and you can do things that I can't, because my brain works one way, my energy works one way, and your energy and your brain work a different way. So do I think I'm better than anyone else? No, I'm just different than other people when it comes to, one, how I explain things, so hopefully you like it, and two, how I work magic. But when it comes to working things in a particular system, like the Simon Necronomicon or the Kara tradition has the idea of Hoocha, which is why I shared it with you, and then the regular witchcraft stuff, which bleeds into the Simon Necronomicon stuff, has the idea of the thought form or fetch, or a protective spirit, being the Watcher, that watches the circle and watches you. And who watches the Watchman? Just randomly thought of that. But you have in particular traditions, you have certain ways of going about doing protections. So, there's the Minu of Enki, with blessing the space around you with 60 little spritzes of water. You could even do that kind of thing. But moral of the story: physical protection, spiritual protection, energetic cleansing your house, staying in good shape, getting good sleep, having good nutrition. Got to keep your physical body in good shape. Got to keep your spiritual body in good shape. Your emotional body in good shape. If you are going through a really, really rough patch with different things, you are more likely to be the victim of negative energy, whether it be from someone who's willingly doing it or unwillingly doing it, or even a passing by spirit that might look at you like a snack, right? Okay, so I've been ranting on this for quite a bit. Let me know what you guys think about this one. Let me know down in the comments any of the protection kinds of things that you've used, or if you've had any situations that you have felt where bad energy is coming at you from somewhere else and you don't know who, or if that happened and you did know who, and what did you do about it. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Good hunting.